Hey, I'm Lydia Isnanto, and this is Dreampreneurs Chat. It's a show where I chat with dream chasers all around the world who make their passion their paycheck, loving the risk they took and the job they do. On this episode, I chat with Em Haas, owner and founder at Fit Mompreneur, earning six figures and building her empire as the online fitness coach for mompreneurs. After being overweight the majority of her childhood, her mom made it her mission to help Em Haas get healthier without missing out on being a kid. That inspired her mission to empower mompreneurs to lose weight and tone for good so they can show up as the most confident example for their kids.
For a self-made woman like me.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dreampreneurs Chat. Today we have amazing guest. She is the founder and owner of Fit Mompreneur, and she is also a women online health and fitness coach, Em Haas.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on. I love podcasting.
It's really exciting to just see you on Skype. I mean, the moment I see you, I already know that you are really a badass fit woman.
Thank you, thank you.
Could you share us the story? Like, are you a mom yourself?
So I am not a mom, and it kind of leads into my story, which is perfect. So all of my clients are moms, and so in a way, some days I feel like I do have kids. But this all started from my mom was and still is a mompreneur. So she saw me grow up as a really overweight kid who was getting teased at school, and she really just was doing so many things. She was running two businesses. She was raising me and my sister. And there was little to no time for her to really educate me on how to eat healthy. So the little time she did have with me, she fell into what most moms and my clients fall into, which is, oh, I'm just going to appease them. I'm just going to entertain them by giving them a snack or giving them electronics to sit on. And instead of being active and giving them something healthy to eat. So what happened was I finally got teased so many times. I will never forget coming home from school, crying and just confiding in my mom and being like, I don't know why I'm different than all the other kids. I don't know why I look different. I don't have any friends. I'm not fitting in. And, whatever had happened at school, I told her the story, and she really in that moment took my hand and said, you know what, we're going to do this together, and I'm going to teach you how to get healthy and how to do this the right way. And she literally took me by the hand during her entire health journey herself. And she taught me not only how to be a kid and still be healthy, but without counting, restriction, anything like that. So I could still do sleepovers, go to birthday parties, and I never felt deprived. And in those 4 or 5 months, I lost 30 pounds at 9 years old. And it was so insane, the transformation, and they threw me a huge party at the end of it. And those healthy habits carried into my adulthood. And so my mission is to really rewrite the way the next generation learns how to take care of themselves by turning my clients into leaders. I, at a very young age, learned a lot about self-discipline and motivation and how to stay motivated. And also what was, I think, the most impactful was associating fun and play with exercise. And so I never felt like I was going to quote unquote go for a workout with my mom. All that we did during those 4 or 5 months was take really long walks together and really use that time to connect and bond and talk about school and open up to her. And I swear to this day, that's why her and I are so close, is because we had that time together.
Yeah. So is that why you're inspired to specialize for moms?
Yes.
Because you're inspired by your own mom as well, and you want to inspire fellow moms out there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would not be as healthy as I am right now if I hadn't gone that at such a young age, and I definitely wouldn't enjoy exercise and just eating healthy without having had that experience for sure.
Were your mom was in coaching, like nutrition coach or fitness coach as well, for her to be able to do that with you?
No, so what happened was she just ran really for 20 years. She probably ran since she was 15, just outside, long distance. She ran a couple marathons. And then, no matter how crazy busy her business was, or just busy taking care of me and my sister, she always made time to work out, and she never filled her body with junk. Like, I don't know where she got that from, because both of her parents weren't super into health like that. But, she kind of had the same story I did. She grew up kind of an overweight kid. And by the time she was in her teens, she really just got more focused on taking care of herself. And, at first it's always for vanity reasons. Like, I just want to look a certain way. But then you really start to realize that it's more so about the feeling that you're chasing. And from there, she just became a huge inspiration for me. And she was just like, wow, I actually know how to do this, and I can show you how.
So from your story, I can feel that your mom is not only showing how to lose weight, but she is a great communicator as well with you. Like, she can communicate in such a way, inspire you, not only outside but also in your mind. So do you think that to lose weight or to have a healthy life, first of all, that you need to change is your mind more than your body? Or is the other way around?
100%. No, it all starts with your mindset.
Right.
As a coach and as an entrepreneur, we tend to fall into we almost, like, even if we don't have kids, we almost fall into the same mindset that moms do, which is like, we always put our clients and our work before ourselves. And so what I've noticed is it's really a self-worth conversation that's going on. So it's not so much that you don't have time, quote unquote, to work out or to eat right. It's just that you're choosing not to because it's not a priority for you. So, I mean, just literally admitting that right off the bat is really the first step, that, like, hey, I haven't been making this a priority. It's not that I don't have time. It's that I'm not willing to make the time. Second thing and point I really just wanted to make was that your internal world is a direct reflection of your external world.
Yeah.
What I've noticed is a lot of times, like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you have financial issues where you're constantly in a scarcity mindset, maybe you are addicted to spending money, or you're very neglectful with money, and you fall in and out of this scarcity mindset, almost 99.9% of the time, those same clients have problems with emotionally eating and overeating, because they're taking that scarcity and lack mentality into the kitchen. So it's really about shifting from a place of lack, I have to cut out sugar, I have to take away this, into an abundant mindset. Instead of focusing on what you can't have, focus on what you can add. Add a couple vegetables. Let's add one walk per day. So I really focus on changing and shifting that lack mentality to an abundant mindset. And it directly reflects what happens on the outside.
Can I ask, like, how long have you been doing this business?
It really only started 7 months ago, and it turned into a multiple six-figure business, which I can't even.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, but I can see from the way you speak, like, it is really your passion. I mean, that's make me, like, really curious. When you were young with your mom, maybe you can share one example of what activity that you and your mom did together, and yet make you feel like, hey, I'm playing here, you know?
Yeah, so it was awesome. I grew up with a pug, a little dog, with the
Oh,
face. Yeah, it looks like E.T., like, or an alien, this little dog. Um, but She was amazing, and I grew up with her. We got her when I was 6 years old. And so, really, when this transformation was happening, she was only maybe like 4 years old, 5 years old, could start going on longer walks. And so, we were like, okay, we're going to use the time when she would normally go out on a walk to not only get her exercise in, but also like, let's go on a really long walk and spend this time for us to really connect and talk. So, like, if you think about it, a half hour, 45 minutes, when you start really getting in a conversation with somebody, and you know this from podcasting, it just goes by like that because you aren't even thinking about time. And that's exactly what ended up happening. So, my mom and I would either go on these long walks where we would talk about what was going on in school, maybe what boy I liked at the time, things like that. Or if it was like snowing or raining out, because I am from the East Coast, um, her and I would spend that half hour just having a dance party in the living room and like just like dancing, putting on my favorite like Disney song at the time or like whatever I was into. And that is when I started associating working out with not a pain of mine, but a pleasure point. And so, really having that connection when I grew up allowed me to not fall into, being a slave to my workouts or having it be this force.
I tried running marathon, half marathon. Oh my God, it's like a disaster. Like I have to listen to the news or anything, TED Talk or whatever in the whole 4 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, but then when I go to like a dance class, like those kind of studio, hey, that's different, like, and 1 hour goes by just like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Yeah. So you're mentioning that this business have growing to a six-figure business. That is literally like you inspire women not only by, hey, let's be fit, but also you inspire many business women within 7 months you can make it into six figures. So is there any advice or tips, let's say, for people, especially mompreneurs out there who really would love to start something with their own time at home like you? And then within 7 months, wow, that is such a short time. How did you able to do that?
Well, it goes back to what I was saying before, which is how you do one thing is how you do everything. So, most of the time, if you are somebody that is really self-disciplined in maybe your
Yeah.
health and you are really on top of taking care of yourself, almost 99.9% of the time, you are really good at being consistent and being on top of taking care of your finances, being consistent with your content, being consistent with reaching out to your ideal client. And so it was just all of these characteristics combined into one. I've always been a workaholic. I'm very, very good at operating in my masculine energy. And that got the best of me at one point, even though I was killing it in my business. I'm gonna really be vulnerable right now and like share with you, like, it was really hard for me to step into my feminine, and it created a lot of burnout. It created a lot of frustration and overwhelm that was really unnecessary. And so it was really when I started balancing out my feminine energy and my masculine energy and creating a flow of giving and receiving, because giving is a very masculine energy. You're always in control. You're either giving to your clients, you're giving to your kids, etc. It's a very masculine energy. But receiving is very submissive. So it's a very feminine energy. So the way that circulation and abundance works is a flow of giving and receiving. So what I started to do is I looked at my to-do list for the day, and every time I would give, I would make sure, even if it was 10 minutes, 5 minutes, that I was somehow receiving something. And if that was a walk outside, if that was just making my favorite cup of coffee, so that all day I'm in this flow of giving and receiving. And I really also think that on top of that, it was also acting as if I had it right now. And so I would always treat myself like a 7-figure earner or this woman that already had her empire going. And you could say, oh, well, that means I wouldn't work as much. Okay, maybe, but that also probably means that you would start making systems out of what you were doing. You would start investing in your business, either, hiring a business coach or hiring a VA and, starting to delegate things. So I really started to get very serious on embodying who that 7-figure earning Em was, the way that she looked, the way that she dressed. And I even wrote it down. I wrote down, what I would be doing, how much I would be traveling. And I got so specific on it as almost as much as I did with my ideal client, and almost treating myself like I was like already that person, and how I would feel receiving that kind of money, and making sure that I maintained that feeling all of the time. And those were really the top 2 things that have just completely elevated everything.
It's true, like what you said, because like we're women, we tend to be burned out more than men. Now that I realize, oh yeah, we need to balance it out. That's really important, especially as a podcaster or as a coach, like you keep giving ideas, train, educations, everything basically. So within these 7 months, which part that is like challenge you the most, and how did you overcome it with something that you're not really good at it? Like for example, like I'm a filmmaker, I'm really good in making film, but you ask me to count money with the Excel sheets. That will be my husband's job.
Yeah, so I would say I hate all the back end stuff. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh my God. Like literally, emailing sequences, and I'm a very creative person and I love writing, but there's just something so daunting about writing that out. Like that
Yeah.
I'm glad to do it. And like, I really make sure that it's a day when I'm in like this high vibe state, because obviously the biggest thing, like I also want to mention, is like you don't want to do anything when you're in this like frustrated, angry, like negative state.
Yeah.
Because then whatever you produce is like going to give out that kind of energy when it's received. And so I always make sure that like the days maybe I just got done a workout, I always tell my clients, whenever you're in a high vibe state, like you just got done a workout or you went for a walk, get on Facebook Live, like write a content post, like do something that that somebody's going to read and somebody's going to open. So you're transmitting that energy to your ideal client or somebody else. So I would say, yeah, the back end stuff is something I definitely don't want to be doing long term. I love podcasting, and coaching is definitely my zone of genius. So I love to either be on one-on-one calls, group calls with my clients, or doing like a Facebook Live. I go live like 5 days a week. So
Yeah, I can see that. That's really awesome. Do you have any team right now with you, or you're still one-man show right now for this business?
So I have an assistant coach, and she's really like an accountability coach for my clients. So outside of just getting coaching from me, they also have her there as support for times when I'm like traveling or I'm like going to an event. So that's been so amazing to have to like delegate. And then also I have like things like a VA, an editor for like videos and like workout videos and stuff like that. So that I'm really making sure that like every single time I hire out, like, is it something that I've already mastered, B, that I can teach them how to do, and like C, is taking me more into my zone of genius.
What are the things that give you energy the most? Maybe 3 activity that really energize you or refresh you?
I mean, anyone that follows me on Instagram or even sometimes on my Facebook Lives, I love starting my day with a Beyonce dance party. I swear,
I love that.
I was her in another lifetime. I just love it. And so I turn on my favorite song. And I really feel like it's not only giving permission to the woman on the other end that, hey, like you don't have to be this buttoned up, serious, like entrepreneur, that always looks like they're going to prom and is like all like you can be like this fun, spontaneous, like creative, like person. Because to me, it's like if I can't be myself in front of my audience, then like I don't know if like we're a good fit to work together or for you to follow me. So I just always make sure I'm giving out that permission and that energy for women to fully be themselves. And that definitely puts me at my highest energy. And then also like the way that I eat, I have to make sure that what I'm eating isn't overly processed or, I have my dark chocolate, I have like my piece of cookie, I have all those things, but I would say 80% of the time I'm making sure that I'm filling myself up with like whole nutrient dense foods because you have to treat your body like an athlete, especially if you own your business. And it's like a machine. If you aren't like treating it right and you're abusing it, then don't wonder why it's like blowing up in smoke every day or it's like shutting down. It's the same exact thing. So those two things for sure.
So for your business, right, you can actually do it basically anywhere and everywhere. It's trending for people like doing this kind of online business, traveling outside, become a digital nomad. Like what I was wondering, like, do you have any of those kind of experience?
Yeah, so it's crazy that you're asking me this now because my boyfriend and I have moved 4 times in the past 2 years. So,
Wow, 4 times.
yes. So him and I are very, very used to being on the go and like taking our stuff everywhere. He's an entrepreneur himself. He's a sales consultant. So he's constantly on Zoom calls, phone calls, computer, same thing. So him and I, yeah, we have lived in like 4 different cities already. And I'm at the point where now that I'm in San Diego, I'm like, babe, like, I need to stay somewhere for a hot minute. Like, can we just breathe? So, but yeah, him and I have been going through an emotional intelligence workshop for the past 3 months. And it was while we were still living in Portland and it was based in San Diego. So that's obviously how we got a taste of San Diego to finally decide to move here. But after going back and forth and, always on the go, it like almost never fails that when I'm fully enjoying myself and I'm not putting any pressure on myself, I don't feel like I'm burning out and I'm not in this lack mentality and I'm in this abundant state of joy and fun and relaxation. All of a sudden, I get all these applications from women to work with me. People are finally answering me back or like saying like, hey, yeah, I want to hop on the phone. Let's make this happen. And it's no coincidence. It's because I'm focused more on my ways of being than on my ways of doing.
That's amazing. So for entrepreneur out there, women entrepreneur or mompreneur, is there any tips or advice for them to have more self-love or self-discipline, like prioritizing themselves?
Yeah, so a lot of times I get feedback from women that are like, oh, well, schedules freak me out. I don't like structure. I don't do well with structure. And so their way of creating structure is writing this like mile-long to-do list on a paper that they can just check off and go one by one. And I would really advise you to actually throw away your to-do list. And I say this with so much love. I would really focus on having a consistent schedule that you follow because it's so crazy that the women that are like, I don't want structure, yet the reason why you have a calendar in place and a schedule in place is to create less structure in your life and to create more freedom because really, like, as Tony Robbins would say, if like it's not scheduled in, it's not going to happen. And so I really that's why I do scheduling audits with my clients. And I really make sure that their workouts fit seamlessly within their business, and it's not another to do and not a force and not something that's hanging over their head. It just fits into their day. So what I would really practice, and I know I mentioned this before, but be in a constant flow of giving and receiving. So when you're giving, meaning maybe you have a client call in the morning and then right afterwards you have a podcast interview. Okay, so instead of adding another thing in your to-do list and stacking things on top of each other and giving yourself no breaks, how can you create a little bit of white space for you to like go take a walk for 15 minutes and come back, or a half hour, and really be in that flow of receiving for just that half hour? And then the next task is probably going to be giving. Maybe it's making a post on Facebook, or it's posting in your Facebook group. That is giving. Okay, so the next task is going to be making your favorite cup of coffee or shutting down electronics while you enjoy lunch. So it's really creating that flow of giving and receiving. That is my form of self-care and how I'm able to run my business successfully and also productively. Because if I keep going nonstop without giving myself any breaks or giving that time to receive, the quality of work I'm putting out isn't as good. I'm not as efficient, and I'm definitely not as productive. I slow down and I'm like, why is this taking me so long? Like, why do I keep getting distracted? And it's because my body's literally trying to tell me, get up, go outside, like, take a break. And I'm choosing not to listen to it. So really have your body be your compass and your North Star. And when you get that feeling, like you're feeling burnout, your eyes are starting to hurt from your laptop, like get up and like make movement out of it. Turn on Beyonce if you don't want to go outside. Like,
Yeah.
really, really create that flow, because that is where circulation comes from and that's where abundance comes from.
It's really great for listening to this kind of advice from you, and I'm sure many women really need it. If they want to find you more, could you share your website or any of your social media, and what kind of service that you can offer for people who need you right now? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I am taking 2 more spots for my one-on-one coaching, and it's called the Empowered CEO. And it's really where
I like the name.
Yes. It's really where
The Empower.
Yes, I love it.
M and Power. Wow. That's perfect.
I play on those, like my nicknames, so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really where we dive deep and we focus on what is really holding you back. What are the limiting beliefs that you have told yourself that you can't have time to work out or tone up and lose weight? And I really make sure that we're not only boosting your metabolism to start losing weight and making those goals happen, but the last 3 months of the program are really to start incorporating your family and really make this a 360 transformation. So I do have applicants, and if you want to apply for a call with me, you can go to fitmompreneur.com. So that's FITMOMPRENEUR.com. I'm probably the most active on Facebook. So I am under Em Haas, and that's just EMHAAS. And then on Instagram, I am at EMMHAAS, because unfortunately someone took my name. But yeah, I am active and on live 5 days a week, and I am just all over Facebook. And if you add me as a friend, get ready for your news feed to be full of like self-love, positivity, being a boss babe, and also like incorporating health and fitness with your family. So,
and could you share like what are the time that you usually live, so when people want to join you live, like is there any certain timing every day, or there's no time? Or
yeah, so I really go on live when I'm most inspired. To be honest with you, I wish there was a schedule, but it's like that is when I'm the most passionate, when I show up the most to whatever I'm talking about. And I've just found that like I can have topics on hand, but But when I like plan it out and I'm just like, oh, it has to be at 6 o'clock, I'm talking about this. By the time 6 o'clock rolls around, I could have had these life-changing moments all throughout the day that I want to talk about that I know my ideal client needs to hear. So I would say though, definitely on the weekends, I try to do it during the day because I found that a lot of people check out by 4 o'clock. Like they're just so yeah, definitely earlier in the day on the weekends. And then, I would just say if you don't catch my lives, like definitely watch the replays and let me know like what takeaways or questions you have. And I respond to every comment.
Thank you so much for sharing, and this is really great for talking with such an inspiring person like you. I like empower. Oh my God, now it's like stuck in my mind. That's really such a great it's literally become a branding, powerful branding.
Yes, when my goal is to have my first live event. I'm declaring this right now out in the universe. My first live event, is going to be in the next 2 years, and it's going to be called Empowered.
Yeah, so thank you so much for talking with me today, and I'm really honored and really thankful for this time with you. Is there anything else you want to say or share to audience?
Yeah, I appreciate you so much first and foremost and acknowledging you for having like such an amazing platform and like place to really inspire people. Like Dreampreneur is so inspiring. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Yeah. So what I would just say is, anything that you are currently struggling with right now, either in your business, maybe it's clients that you keep getting that aren't financially committed, they have to think about it. What I would say to you is that every frustration you're coming across or people that you see, people are always a mirror to whatever we are going through. So if you feel like you're not attracting committed people into your life, where can you ask yourself, where is you not being committed showing up in your life? Like, where is you having to wait for permission to take that next step, maybe in your health and fitness or your business? Where is that showing up for you? So really just always make sure that you really are the change that you want to see, not only in your world, but like everywhere around you.
Yeah, that is so true, and that is so important. All right, thank you, Em. Thank you so much, audience out there. Don't forget to check her out, check all of her social media and follow her, and just stay tuned whenever she live, because that is when she is the most passionate. So thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next upcoming Dreampreneurs chat. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
For a self-made woman like me.
This podcast is available on iTunes and other major podcast platforms. If you like this show, please subscribe and give your rating and review on iTunes. That means a lot to help the show keep going. You can also watch the video podcast series at youtube.com/Lydia Isnanto. See you on the next brand new chat. Until then, remember to share your story with someone, because you never know how one sentence of your life story could inspire others to rewrite their own.